Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? How we all doing today? Everybody good? Everybody happy? Everybody wonderful? Audacious. I like it. All right. Good deal. Well, let's dive into it. We got the S&P here, down about 22, but a nice little hammer. You know, it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad here. It's just kind of blah at the moment. Do this real quick. There we go. This is kind of blah at the moment. For everybody watching us on YouTube, welcome to Market Monday. For everybody who's here with us, welcome to the Swing Trade Room. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. I hope you're ready to rock and roll. We've got some trades that we're in already that we're going to be looking at and managing. We've got a lot of potential new trades that we're going to be looking at as well. So at the moment, we got the S&P with this little bit of a pullback right here. Let's go ahead and look at this from a moving average bullish uptrend standpoint. So our study set up here. Go to our 3 EMAs. You see, we're kind of hanging out at this 21. If this fails, keyword is if this fails, we're looking at dropping kind of down into this 75, 77 area. Look at this resistance, 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 right? Old resistance becomes new support. That's kind of what we're looking for off the uptrend. And then we would look for this once more. However, the one downside here that I do notice, we had this big push up, new highs, pull back, new highs, right? So potential transition. Bigger picture trend, this looks fine. Bigger picture trend, this looks fine. If we're going to get short, I would like to see this drop, move up into that 76, let this old resistance kick back in as resistance, and then fail back down, right? So I'm not looking to get short here. I'm looking to go bullish, get long here. Lots of nice bullish setups that we've got potentially going. Let's go to our actual watch list. We've got the Dow up about 100 points on the day. Really nice move off this 50. You can see this already filled that 53,000 gap right here. Let's take these studies off for just a second. Looking at the weekly chart, nice pullback with a hammer. This is a really pretty trend. Really pretty uptrend. Again, not worried about this until we actually start taking out this 51. Now, if on the Dow, we were to roll over and hit 51. Now I'm thinking a move back up into 53 and a shortable opportunity to come down into 49.9. Let me make sure that monthly engulfing is still real. It does not. It's just a monthly level. All right. So nothing wrong here. NASDAQ is what's giving us the most trouble. The NASDAQ is what's giving us the most trouble. We are back down into this 28,776 area. Now we've bounced off of it, but you can see a good zone of support here. When you look at the weekly, you can still see this nice zone of support here, right? Like that's our kind of our weekly low zone. Support, 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 support. Broke, resistance, drop, back above it. It should act as support if this is going to be real. Keywords, right? If this is going to be real. So looking at these studies, we're underneath everything. This looks more bearish than it does bullish. When we add all of our moving averages on here, we could still hit this 100 and then the 200. Why does the NASDAQ look so much bearish than the S&P? That is going to be your chip manufacturers. That's going to be NVIDIA, AMD, TSM, and then mainly your data storage companies, which we'll look at those in just a second as well. But right now, what I'm kind of watching here, we've got this high. There's your downtrend, right? This turned into a downtrend. move up, potential transition, broke a high, and now this is a failed transition at the moment. So if we continue down like into 28,196 and move up, that's where we start looking to short right in here. So we're not there yet. We're not there yet. But when you just throw your moving averages on here, you can see how this is below the 8, 21, and 50. And then you go over to the S&P, the 8 still above the 21 and the 50, and you're sitting at the 21. If you go to the Dow, they're all stacked, right? Price is at the 8, which is above the 21 and the 50. Then we go to the Russell, still stacked. This still looks like a really nice uptrend. This still looks like a really nice uptrend. Let me get rid of this drawing. So looking at the Russell from a weekly standpoint, this is just, I mean, that's a solid looking trend here. Honestly, really go back to there. Would want to pull that up. And so, I mean, that's a good looking trend. You go to the monthly chart, you can see this really nice push off the monthly. This is fine. This thing is fine. There's no jeopardy here as of yet. Now you may say, okay, well, Mark, what about this? This is a high, pullback, broke a high. Yes, potential transition, right? In order for that to actually take a bearish trade, we need this to come to 29.3, move back into 3,000, and then fail. Now that transitions us, right? That transitions us back down into a bearish environment. And so looking at everything at the moment, we're still in a bullish environment. We're just in support in that bullish environment. So we're in a bullish environment. We're just in support in the bullish environment. Y'all with me? Yes, no, maybe, kind of. All right, real quick, let's jump over here for you day traders. I was watching this for a bullish move here. We had a potential transition. I was waiting till we closed over this VWAP, see if we came all the way back. Nothing happening. We did have this little drop here. Maybe you capitalized on it or not. I don't know. But we're still waiting on this. Gold and Bitcoin both still cranking. Both of these look fantastic. We're trying to get up into this 47.83 zone here. Bitcoin just flirting with these $80,000 level. I love this. I made the joke earlier today in the day trade room. I did not know Jim Cramer 2 weeks ago said he was selling all of his Bitcoin literally right here. He actually came out and said, I'm selling all my Bitcoin. I'm getting rid of everything. And I made the joke that if I'd have known that, we would have loaded up way more than we actually did. So, it still is a phenomenal trade. This is a killer trade. And we took a bullish trade here. We added to it here, and we took some gains here, here, and here. My stop loss is now going to be moved up. All right, so let's look at this off IBIT because that's what the vast majority of everybody's trading. Ethereum, awesome move into 25. Love that. All right, this is in your gap fill. We're probably going to try to go to 27 and 3,000. Any pullback here, looking to get long. Ripple, huge move up into the 151 area. This didn't give us our normal transition higher, right? So Bitcoin and Ethereum did. This just went straight up. Bitcoin just jumped with it. This jump with Bitcoin. So looking at IBIT, we had our stop loss here at 43. I told you guys I'm going to go ahead and take some at 44, right? So I took some of this at 38, 39, 40, 70, and 44. I still have a little bit of this left. I'm up 24% on about a tenth of my starter position here. So it's not making a ton of money, but it's making money. Is that y'all with me? Some money's better than no money. Can I get a witness in the house? All right. So what we want to see engulfing by this 46.56 by the end of September. This will probably hit sooner than later. Well, this is called a short squeeze. Everyone who is short here, 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 and here are all getting stopped. Everybody's getting stopped out now. So that's fun when that happens, especially when you're on the right side of it. When you're on the wrong side of it, it's not fun at all. All right. So what we're looking for now is this move up into 56. Real quick before we do that. TJ, are you in here? TJS? And you sent me an email about how we put lines in. You cool if I just answer that here so everybody can learn? All right, cool. All right, so how do we know that we want to get up into 46.56, especially from Bitcoin, which our target here is 83,215, right? And so when we're drawing lines and charting out bigger time frames, if you look at this, you're like, dude, there's so many lines on this. This is crazy, right? Well, again, what we can do is remove some of these that we don't need anymore. But what I like to do is start with a quarterly level, and I just straight mark out the open and highs that are pertinent to those quarterly zones, right? So 3 weeks ago, Bitcoin's still around 64. The pertinent levels, if we go bullish, are all these lines that we've gone through. But really, this 83.2, the pertinent levels to the downside were still here at 52 and 50. Go with me? So I mark out the open high low close of the most recent candles or areas that I think we could see some interest. So on this one, notice how this is July of 2024, the low, July low of 2024. It also corresponds kind of with these levels. So I wanted to keep that. Why? Because if we break down from July, August coming down, this is our next downside target. So I wanted to keep that in there. But now that we've turned, right, when we started getting bullish on this thing from this daily chart, we started marking the upside quarterly, which is this wick. If this goes engulfing, the next target on a quarterly for Q4 is 88.77, 98.200, 115. And so I'm just marking these levels with my regular price level line. I put them in orange so I know what they are. Otherwise, they're all black, right? So if all of these are black, that's tough to understand. But if they're color coded, I know that orange can be quarterly. Why is orange quarterly? Because 5 years ago when we started doing this, I put it to a vote and everybody in the trade room voted for orange. Ofinger, do you remember that? You remember that? Let's see who else is in here from that time ago.
Yes, sir.
Otis would be. No, there's a few of them. Keith might. Old Keith might. Old Kim might. I don't know. So we did that though. Y'all with me? All right. So then you drop to the monthly, and I want to find the most recent monthly levels. Monthly levels are in pink. Why? Because that's what everybody voted on. I told everybody I really don't care. Just tell me what to do. It's kind of like what I do with my wife. She's like, "What color do you think we should paint this?" I'm like, "I don't care," because I don't want to make a decision on something I don't care about, especially if she has an opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that'll look beautiful. Same thing. We flip the monthly, and that's when we said, okay, our monthly target, TJ, is this monthly high. So let me get rid of the weekly. This monthly high at 74,385. And then this resistance zone, right? So now if I go to 77,730, resistance, 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 this is a quarterly level, so I don't have to mark yet. So from this monthly break, the monthly target for August is this high. The next monthly target is here, and the final monthly target is here. Do we get there? Maybe, but technically we have till the end of September because that's also a quarterly level. So then we drop to the weekly, and I'm going to do the same thing. When we broke this weekly 65.7 zone, when we broke this level, that was our weekly signal. This is where we added, by the way. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to look for an ad here, right? Target 1, target 2. That's the line I just deleted. So let me show that to you. See, that's the open of that weekly high. That's a monthly chart, so I don't have to mark it. And then we also had one here that I deleted earlier. These are all weekly levels in blue. And so I just put it in the open and the high, open and the high. Because on the way up, when a stock is moving higher, like we have here on Bitcoin, the goals are the opens and then the highs, the opens, then the highs, the open, and then the high. Does that make sense? And so that's where I'm drawing these out at. And when you start doing this consistently over and over and over again, when you start drawing these out consistently over and over and over again, you start finding these areas. So why did we take profits here when this hit 70? Well, number one, we got in essentially here at 64, and that represents a 10% ROI with a 3% risk. So I'm up 3-1. And this is a pretty good area, to be honest, to see that. But we don't take everything there. We just take a piece of it there. Y'all with me? We just take a little portion of it there. And so then the next target was 74. So when we hit the 74, we took some more off the table. Why? Because this is an awesome target. Look at 74. Let's go to a year. Look at this 74,000 level. Y'all see that? Would it not make sense to hit this level and buyers take profit, sellers try to drop it back to 70 and then do this for the next leg up? That's logical. Well, Bitcoin is moving illogically because everybody who was short here and here and here and here and here, all these guys that were short, they're getting their butts kicked. That's a Jesus edit for you. They're getting their butts kicked right now. All right. So they're all getting stopped. They're losing money. People here losing money. People here losing money. People here that defended here, they doubled down. They're losing money. So what do? They buy because they're short, right? So if I'm short, in order for me to get out of the position, I buy. So when I buy, what happens? Shares come off the market. That means buying makes the price go higher. So then these guys have to stop out, and 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 these guys have to stop out. Y'all with me? Holy Spirit makes me pause a lot, Josh. That's why I like him so much. He's that counselor, you know, that paraclete. And so our next weekly target is 80,895. Honestly, 80,000 would be the next target because it's a round number. The absolute goal is to fill this gap at 85.5, 84.5. This is where we're trying to go, is 84.5. That is your daily gap. Daily gap fill target. Bam. All right. That's your next target. Again, I was hoping for a pullback at 7. Oopsie. That was going to give me my drawing tool. I was hoping for this pullback at 75 into, 70-ish. we add to this position because we already took some gains. We add to it and then get this move up into 80. And then we pull back into 75, right? Take some profits up here, add to the position, look for this move up into 83. This may just straight go into 83. We may hit that tomorrow by the end of the week. Cool, man. Do I care about that? No. If it happens, what's going to happen? I'll make money and take my profit. I will take profit at this 83.12. And I'll probably have like, I don't know. So if we hit 46.50, I'm going to take some gains. I've already taken gains, like I said, at 38, 39, 40, 41, 70, and then 44. So I have 1/10 of what I started with. And so if we hit this, I'll take a little bit more off the table, or I may just take the whole thing off the table. But again, this would be a great spot to see a pullback and then a run. But that's where we get at all of our lines. So all of these colored horizontal lines, that's how we chart them. Okay. TJ. So I'm not going to reply to your email. Just go watch this video again. And so if you're watching on YouTube, that's a great free lesson. That's a great free lesson. All right. Thanks, Kimberly. Blessings for you today too. So again, this is what we're looking for. All right. Tesla. We are not in this. We are still in this trade. I still have shares in this trade. I'm moving my stop up to Friday's low. I was going to say yesterday. Friday's low at 346. Here's what's fun about that, team. We got into this trade and that 346 was our number 3 target, right? I think. Let me see. I will say our swing trades are doing a lot better this month than our day trades. 370 is the T3. All right, so 370 is that T3. We came flirting with it right here. We had 328, 340, 370, right? So we hit that 328 1-to-1 within a couple days. Here's that gap. What I was hoping for was this move up, pull back, and then a run. We kind of got it, not really. I mean, a little bit here. Beautiful little doji sandwich higher. If we get that same close here, go ahead and think we're going to get that 370. I will take profits at 370 on these shares. But again, I traded this with everything. I had TSLL. I had credit spreads. I had debit spreads. And so this trade just absolutely was a banger personally for me. If you notice here, we gave it all. Shares, options, spreads, TSLL, watch your position size. Here's our entry. Here's our stop. Here's all the things, right? So just a banger of a trade on this one. Me gusta. I want to see this hit in 371. If we get to 371, what I'm going to be looking for at that level is the pullback into 350 so that level holds. Then turn up. An even better, stronger move is a move up into like 390, pull back into 370, and this old channel kicks back in. And then we go to 400, 450, 500. There'll probably be some kind of alien attack, and he'll turn the Optimus robot into a Terminator robot. And they'll kill the aliens like they did on Independence Day, and Tesla's stocks will go through the roof. And it'll turn into Skynet, and then we'll all be like, this is great. And then Elon really turns out to be the bad guy. Big switch. I don't know. It's a fun sci-fi novel. All right. Or he's like, hey, my family's here. I don't know. We'll see. But I do think this goes into all-time highs. UPS. That is not the Holy Spirit, by the way. That was not the Lord. That's just me rambling. UPS, this is completely sideways. Our stop is still at 100. This is frustrating. We've been in this. I like this area still. I was really hoping that we'd take out this high with the start of the day. RoboCop was a crazy movie. Like, this dude dies, and instead of letting him die in peace, they turn him into a cyborg, so he still has to go to work every day. Isn't that crazy? What we were looking for here was this channel. All right, so he had this bounce, boom. Here's this bounce, boom. Now, if this is where we bought, and if you're thinking, why did you not stop out? This looks like you should have stopped out. It does until you add your dividend, because we all got paid our dividend. And so again, this 164 comes out of the share price. So this drop here was almost actually break even. This was only down 40 something cents. So from this entry, we're currently down 3%, but you got to add that 1.64 into it. So you're really only down like, what is that, 2%? 360 minus one. What's 360 minus 162? $2. $2, Chuck. So you're down 2%. All right. So we're only down 2% on this. This is fine. Again, I was hoping that we took out this high and rallied. If this fails tomorrow, I will probably get out, because now we're underneath this, and that's resistance. This, that was resistance. This, that's resistance. This, we broke through it, and that was support, 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 support. That's what we were looking for. All right. So let's see what happens here today. IBM, this is fine. Again, nice channel, broke up, drop. We're back into this gap open. Oftentimes this gap open holds when you get above it as support, as we did here. That was our entry. Here's the move up. We won't follow through on this tomorrow. Looking for this move into 240, 248, and 258. I like that. Let's see if we can keep going. See if that can keep going. GitLab has earnings on the 1st. When is the 1st? That is next Tuesday, but is this pre or post market? After market. Okay. So we took GitLab on the 18th. Is that right? So we're down. This is fine. This still looks good. I would just like to see this pop into 44, 46. This is a little uptrend with some price action going on. We have that high that's holding as support. Can y'all see that? So what we want to do here, nice potential Harami off the weekly. If we break this weekly sign at 42.88, we should get up to 43, 44, 46, back into 48. Now, if you're like, why'd you take this, Mark? Watch this. See this channel? This is also a weekly channel. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Resistance. We got back above the channel. Now we're looking for this to come back up into 48.80. Risk reward on this, really nice. 6% to potentially make 14%. Me gusta. So let's see if it plays out. Google, we just got an entry on this Friday. This looks great for a potential ad. This looks awesome. But we did take this Friday. Share entry, half size. You could add Monday, 2x leverage. Watch your position size on GGLL. That guy. This looks fantastic. You're up 3.3%. Great move here. I like this a lot. Here's your channel. Let's see if we can't get on up into those targets. right there. For Goog, old googly eyes, we're looking for this move up into like 356, 370, etc. All right. So when you say 1/4 size, 1/2 size, what in the heck are you talking about? That's the question that comes in. It's a great question to come in too. Before I answer that, I do want to throw this over for you day traders. Here's this Harami. We broke higher, dropped, hammer. If this breaks here, we're looking for this move back up into opening price of the day, especially if this goes engulfing off the 1 hour. So heads up on that. Let's see what the NASDAQ looks like though. NASDAQ already breaking on the 1 hour. Let me see what the indices look like though. Ooh. Triple Haramis. Oh. All right. 1 hours. Harami, Harami, Harami. Here's one break. If we get a triple break off the 1 hour, it's a pretty strong signal. We should get that continuation follow through. Dow's near the highs. Here's the old NASDAQ. A break over that VWAP would be pretty for you day traders. All right. What do we have here? Yes. $6.75 a risk here. 13%. I like that. All right, we'll watch that. When I say half size or quarter size, what am I talking about? That's a position size based on your account, right? So, like if $1,000 is what you would consider a maximum size position, then you would take this with, you do one share, right? Or you would drop down to GGLS so that you could do more than one share. Or you might do 2 shares, right? That would be a half size position because you're basically 700 out of your 1,000 allocated. Right. So if I did a GGLS, so I could actually control more because this is only at $57 or GGLL, sorry, because it's only at $100. So I could get, 3 of these and be at a 1/3 size. I could get 5 of these, be at a half size. Does that make sense? That's what I'm talking about. So your position sizing until you get the other follow through. Because on Google here, while I liked how we closed, we didn't really get that extra push till this morning. And so now we're actually getting that extra follow through. I do want to see how we close today, but right now this looks great. And so this is where we got into it at. This was a 2% risk, and now you're up that 1-to-1. So you're already up 1-to-1 here. It's 1.76 risk, and you're up 1.8. So you're already up your 1-to-1 here. I want to see this up into the 350. That's a little bit better 1-to-1, 56, and then the channel resistance at 70. That's what we want to see. The question is, are we going to get there? Soundtown not looking as great as Google. This is a beautiful trigger Friday. Great trigger Friday. I like it a lot. This is what we were looking for. We had this risk at 7.5 to come up and make 9, 11 to the previous high, and then potentially get on up into that 9.25. This looks really good though at the moment. This is still fine. Until we take out this low, this is fine. Shopify, this also looks good. This is one, it tends to channel. I was watching kind of that low. We got a trigger. That's close enough. Down here, this was a beautiful channel for the longest time, right? We took this trade. I think this trade We didn't take a trade here because we didn't get a trigger. We did take this trade and stopped out. Some of you guys took this one. I actually didn't take this one. I missed this one. And then some of you took this guy, right? I remember some of you guys taking this one. This still looks good. This is fine. I like this up into 158, 162. If we close below 142, I'm out. But it looks pretty solid. Microsoft also trying to give us that bullish trigger here. Meta trying to give us that bullish trigger. There's a ton of stocks setting up here. We're going to have to be picky. 3.4 to come up and make 7. That's not bad. Meta's a gapper though. Like I mean, this thing has gapped like crazy for differing reasons. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But I do still like it. Still like the potential channel. Amazon, this is a good hold. I wanted the hold over 265, right? So on the 20th, I was looking for follow through up. If you'll remember, we didn't get it. Here's your drop. Today, we're getting a fresh 30-minute trigger right now. Let's see how this closes, but I still like this up potentially into 277. In mode, this is another potential channel. It's cheaper stock. I was trying to have some cheaper stuff on the list. And then we've got Apple. Apple here, gap lower, move up, nice pullback, move up, nice pullback into this trend, trying to move up, back up into this 320, 330 range. I want to see how Apple closes. If this goes bearish, I'm not going to be happy because it'll probably pull the rest of the market down, especially if NVIDIA keeps going down. Lemonade, I think I missed this. I think this was too far gone. Yeah. This is a 10% risk to come up and make 12. I like the setup on the channel. I just don't like that. This little 54 shelf here. I'm not a fan of this gap lower. Now, if we get above that, pull back into it, maybe we can take that into 60 for the gap fill from earnings. I just think there's going to be better dance partners. Western Alliance, nice channel. No trigger, but a really nice channel here. Here's our 30-minute downtrend. This looks pretty decent. If this area breaks, maybe it comes on down, but I mean, I like this 78. 2.5% risk, come up and make 4.5. I mean, I like that. That's not a lot of money. No, but it's consistent. That's the nice. And the nice thing about options too is even if it's not a lot of profit money, like if you're looking at it like, oh, it's, it's 2%, 4%. It's only a 4% risk. Well, it's a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. And so if we get the follow through here, I really like it. SpaceX, I like this one too. This is finally starting to firm up for me. Here's this move up. Here's this pullback. I wanted this at 100. We didn't quite get there. We were at 105. Huge move up, right? 50% run, 42% run. Pullback. I love this hold. This is about a 5% risk right now to come up and make 8 and then possibly popping on up into 170 again. Because we got to get through these guys. $160 would be a good level. So you're looking at, call it 6% to make 9, 8 to 9 to make 16 to make 24. So pretty good risk reward here. Rigetti, great pop. Here's your pullback on it. I didn't like this because we were so far gone. This was a 13% risk. I'm not going to risk 13%. That's silliness. Black Sky, I did like this hold of this $26 area. There's no trigger here yet. Waiting on that trigger. No 30-minute trigger. Vulcan Metals. Who can do the Vulcan hand signal? Anybody do the Spock? Can y'all do the Spock? Anybody? Couple of us. Can you do it with both hands though? I used to not be able to do it with my left hand. I had to practice a lot. I had to practice on both hands. There goes the push. Boom. That's what we're talking about right there. There's that move up. That's what we were looking for. Anybody in this? I'm a nerd, so yes. That's funny. That boy Wagner, move your stops up. All right. That's the ES futures trade that we called out for the day trade. And boy Josh. Amber, Quinn, y'all didn't get into that? Did not show on the NQ? Ooh, pullback on the NQ here is going to be lovely. That thing can pull back and run. We may finally get some bullish action today. Let's go. All right. VMC. I don't know what I want to do here. Kind of have this hesitation point that you're failing at. There may be better dance partners. Take your profits on that option. If you took that option trade, take those profits. Hitting that target on the option. There's your setup right here. Got real close to those gains. Take some of those profits off the table so you can make your money back from this morning. I am counting that. Yum Brands. This had a nice weekly setup. It just continued. I'd like a pullback here and get follow through. Kava. Now the rest of these on the list, these on the list that we're going through here in just a second, these had some really nice weekly setups. Okay. So here's Kava. Check out your gap action here. Check out your gap action here. That should hit your target, by the way, right there. Boom, target hit. Take profits, baby. Let's go. Great trade. Great trade. All right, 1 for 1. Me gusta. See if we can run. Move your stop to break even on this on your runner. Tava, we've got our gap action. If we can hold 72, I like this channel being back intact. We don't have anything going on it yet, but this is one to watch. Upwork, same thing. This is an attempt at a transition here off the weekly chart, coming from that IPO price all the way down. Again, this IPO price, you're down 67%. That's par for the course. A break here is about a 10% risk. Come up and make 10 plus. This is one of those that I do think has upside. I like Upwork. You can find some awesome talent on Upwork. I know a lot of companies that use Upwork to find, and I know a lot of people using Upwork. So I like this. Plus, look at your bigger picture support on the quarterly. Great zone here. Now, see if we get that trigger and channel. You, Amy, mining company, loved this turn. We're breaking to the downside, so I'm going to hold off on that. Let's see if we get this follow through back up, though. Virgin Galactic space stocks, super popular right now. Here's this giant push up from 7, right? If we can break this weekly high, I think we can actually get back up into 4 and then maybe up into 615. I don't think we ever get back up here because that was a 1-to-20 split, reverse split. This is Richard Brunson's, right? Blue Sky is Bezos. Is that right? I think so. I think that's right. That sounds right anyway. No trigger, no trade. SE. Look at this little uptrend on the SE. That's pretty, isn't it? That is a pretty uptrend. I like it. Let's see if we get a trigger. No trigger. If we get the trigger off the uptrend, I will look to take this. This is going to be most likely about a 5% risk to make 10. There's no trigger on it though, so I'm going to move this up because it is pretty. Fermi, we actually hosted a event this past weekend, and one of the people asked about it. Somebody was like, "Hey, what do you think about Fermi?" And they'd bought it way up here, and I was like, honestly, on a daily chart, it looks like a channel. So I threw it on our list. You never know where these tickers will come from. Private electrical grids, redundant power at a gigawatt scale. That's pretty daggum cool. It's a cool looking company. Sounds cool anyway. I don't know if their stuff works, but it sounds like it's cool. All right, you're coming up into opening price of the day here. Take your stop loss on your option. Go ahead and move that thing up to 323. You're getting close to this 1-to-1 off your original entry here at 11:30 that we talked about. That was the break of the 30 minutes. So you're getting close to the 6.75 and opening price of the day. You're literally 1 point away. So be smart, take some profits, move your stop loss higher. Sound good? Cool, man. If we get a trigger on this, I don't mind it. I would say it's going to be about a 10% risk to make 16 to 27. So let's watch that. Pinterest. Kind of want to wait for this weekly to trigger. It's 5 to make 8. And I know Pinterest is popular, but I don't know. Like recipe, I know women use it for recipes. Neo, I'm gonna take that off the list. Like recipes and homeschooly things, like ideas, stuff like that. Idaho. Ooh, that's a nice gap. At 31.90. All right, TJ, you see how I'm marking these levels out off the quarterlies? See that? Now I'm going to drop to the monthly. We're going to mark that out. I'm going to just duplicate it, find those monthly targets, and we're going to drop to the weeklies. And because this is a channel with that strong weekly resistance, I'm going to go ahead and make that a dotted line for a hesitation point. And that's where I'm at. A decent close here. We've got about an 8% risk to make 8, 16, 22, but we need a trigger, and I'd like to get it over that 33. I'll make this an end of day look. Ibotta. Look at that double hammer weekly Harami. Goodness, 10%. I think there's going to be a prettier partner. Dropbox. Let's remove some of these levels that are no longer in play. All you have left on Dropbox are all-time highs. Got a weekly target over here. So again, 39. Five to make 4.5 to make 12. Let's see. Rivian looking for a pullback to 1450. If that hits, this is rinse and repeat. This is just money asking to be made. Cisco, Francisco, we need a trigger. Great hold at 109. If 109 breaks, we're going to look fill that gap. If this breaks higher, we're looking to go back to 118. Lows very sideways from earnings. We need to break over 220. ONDS is not a bad looking channel here either. 1 4 hour. 6 months. There we go. Still need a trigger. Las Vegas Sands. That looks pretty good. Good move up. Can't take this because you're halfway up your channel. The better entry would have been the 46. Grab looks pretty solid though. Nice looking channel here. Really nice zone. Need that final trigger. Let's see how this one closes. This might be an end of day idea. 3% to make 9. Redeeming. All right, if you're in this option trade still, I'd move my stop loss up to 330. And if this takes it out to the downside, I'd stop out and look for a fresh entry. So I'd look for this pullback. So if we get this pullback and then turn to do that, this is a transition off your 5. Right? We've been fighting all this all day. We took this trade. That's a winner. There's your stop. So that's a stop. You should be completely out of this trade now. Good trade. That should have made back most of your money. And then I'd like to see this pullback and hold turn up. I doubt we'll have enough time here to do it today. We may. We'll hang out a little bit later than normal. I'm okay with that. I do like grab here, though. Let's add that to end of day. Ford. Quantum computing is not bad. SMCI, we were waiting on that trigger on it. I like waiting on these triggers, guys. I like waiting on these triggers. No trigger, not yet. Let's move this alert down just a little bit because this would be a trigger. You guys see that? You see how we move that alert down? And now if we popped, we're probably going to get this dotted line up and get this guy up, and we'll get that cross. Y'all see that? So let's see how this holds. Good gap hold here on this wick low. Good 35.58 hold. This would be 8% to make 13 and 24. Boeing is falling. Let's see if we get a rinse and repeat here. Deckers, we wanted that over 2092. Wells Fargo trying to give us a trigger. Ride the wagon, baby. Let's see if we get a trigger here on Wells Fargo. Truist trying to give us a trigger as well. I still like Truist. That's pretty. That's failing. I'm going to take that off the table. And then we get to NVIDIA. All right, so here's the reason the market's just been blah today is you got NVIDIA. Here's your just insta drop, no trigger, 3% drop out of the gate, down into 208. Let's see if this holds. I wanted that 212 to hold and turn up. Let's see if this little gap area holds. We do have earnings coming up in 2 days. If NVIDIA drops through earnings here, that could wreck the market. So just be mindful of that, okay? If NVIDIA were to get like a 10-point drop or 5% drop or something like that from earnings, which doesn't sound crazy, but like, I mean, if this dropped 10%, that's going to pull the whole market down. So let's be careful with that. AVGO, another chip manufacturer, semiconductor. This is choppy. Here's your all-time high, which we need to move this guy. Here. We'll make this guy that color. Earnings coming up in a week. Next week. This could easily get to 328. TSM, all-time high. This does not look great. From a weekly standpoint, this is a transition short. Or it's a transition. Whether it goes short or not, I don't know. Here's your pullback, move up, broke a low, lower high, broke a low, retesting that high, bigger picture low. If we take out 374, we're trying to come back to 336. That's going to pull the market lower as well. So we just want to be mindful of these big semis. In the meantime, Tractor Supply Company trying to crank. Nice jump on Pepsi. I'm going to take them off the table. We got plenty of better looking semis. Copper looks great. Zillow's fine. Kimberly, what are my thoughts on silver? I'll answer that shortly for you. There's your quarterly engulfing. Good job, Verizon. Look, they did it. Turned it blue. Turned it blue. How did shop stop you out? It's up on the day, Mark. Let's look at that in just a second, bud. Hubs, potential channel, waiting on it. Great move on BJ. Ooh, almost engulfing. All right, ES, hit your targets here. Broke hive day. See that? Is your broke hive day. Now we want to try to go fill that gap on the S&P. Check this out, by the way, though. This is why we look at the S&P and all the indices 1 hours. Didn't I say if these break, that's a long signal, right? All of these had the triple break. There's your bar to bar moves. That's an easy trade. Now the question is, can this go all the way up and fill the gap into 75? That's why we watch that stuff, team. That's why we watch that stuff. Any pullback here, I would like. Crocs is not in a bad area. Bigger picture, you're in resistance and failing. Daily chart, you've got this potential earnings. Like here's your earnings gap lower, hold and rally, right? You're back in. Trying to hold that same zone here, get back up into 135. It's 3 to make 8. Let's give this a day or two. I'm going to add that to the end of day watch list. Berkshire and IBRX. All right. That's not bad. All right. What are my thoughts on silver this week? 71 is my target. So 78.90 is this monthly target on silver. It is this December low, almost January open. Nice round number. You can see support, 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 support. Your real target's up here at 75.48. That's also your quarterly, right? We could go engulfing by the end of the quarter, but you got to get some juice going for that to happen. Weekly chart. This looks great. This is a transition off the weekly. Here's your engulfing higher. You want to go take out 71. If we take out this current high and then 75, those are your targets moving up. What I would like to see would be a break, pull back to 67, and then break into 75, 84. This is where we get long, take some profit, take some profit, or move on up, pull back, and then go up again. But this looks fine. If you're long-term trading silver, I'd just move my stop loss to there. If you're in a long-term trade here on silver, I would just move my stop loss up a little bit. But that looks fine. As far as our trades go, Bitcoin, this looks great. 81 is our next target. You should move your stop loss higher on IBIT. So this is a 1-to-1 risk. So if we drop it to 44, that's better. Tesla's fine. Move your stop loss up to 346. UPS is looking a lot better. This is looking a lot better here. I'd like to take out that 182, to be honest with you. Like if we can take this out, if we can take out this 103 here, that guy, I would be very, very, very happy. Now, do we add the IBIT? Not here. You're wildly extended, right? So like, think about this, an add here, you have all of this downside exposure. So maybe it holds here. Maybe it fills the gap. Maybe you come down to here. But you have all that downside exposure. The easier add, David, is on a pullback than the turn. So like this parabolic move, it's great that we have some. Super happy about that. Thrilled that we were able to catch the parabolic. However, I wanted this move up into 40, pull back, move up into 44, pull back, then the move up into 46, right? I wanted this trend. And then we add, take some gains, add, take some gains, right? So right now, we're just chilling. Now, if this goes sideways for 2, 3, 4 days and then pops because we've had such a big move, like it would not be odd on a Bitcoin or IBIT to close like a doji and then give us the doji sandwich next week. So if you take that turn, boom, that's your move, right? And then we get back up into 84, get back up here into 100. But this is a good enough push. If we go engulfing, your upside targets here are going to be 95, 100, 115. All right. Again, our trades, IBIT, let's just move our stop loss up to 44. Tesla, I got my stop at 346. This is more than I thought we would make, to be honest with you. UPS, this is fine. This is positive. It's fine. It's not great, you know. It's like eating meatloaf. Although I have had some meatloaf that's fantastic. But most people's meatloaf is fine. It's good. You know what I'm saying? We want to break 103 here. If we take out 103, we're looking to go to 105. IBM, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. It's down today, right? But what we're looking for is the follow through break, get on up here to 248, maybe pull back to 239 and then go to 260. But this is fine. This looks good. GitLab looks good. This is up. You know, you're up % on the day. So we're fine on this. We want to get follow through. Google looks great. Google looks great. Very happy with this. 350, 356 are target. Sound, this is fine. Shopify, you are up on this one. So Mark says, I must have entered my stop and buy price with the same price point at shop. Possibly. Here's the thing. You're going to make mistakes trading. You could chalk it up as a learning experience. Just learn what you did so you don't repeat the same mistakes and then adjust. But if you can think of a mistake in trading, I promise you I've made it. Whether it's position size, bad stops, FOMO, holding too long, getting in too soon, you know, reading news and getting all socked up because you saw something on news or your favorite person said it and they don't have a track record. Your buddy told you about this. Like I had some guy send me something about the Simpsons had a ticker symbol on it that they said was going to go to the moon on this particular date. And they're like, should we be buying this? I'm like, no, you shouldn't be buying this. The ticker looks like dog crap, right? Like that kind of stuff. People just get really excited about. So just learn from it. That's the best thing you can do. The best thing you can do. But shop looks fine. This is great. I mean, you're positive. You should be positive on the day. What else do we have? SoundHound. Is that it? I think that's it. Sherman Williams. Oh, dude, I'm very transparent when it comes to wins and losses, Susan. It's the only way you get better, right? Like if you want to get better, you got to be transparent. And most of the time, like that's being transparent with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like just be honest with you. Like I missed this because why did I not get out of here? Because I honestly thought it was going to go higher than my resistance. Why? Because I wanted it to. Great. Just be honest. That's the only way you grow is honesty, right? In fact, like scripture says, those who worship the Lord must worship him in spirit and truth. The truth is like your raw vulnerability, honesty. That's how you get breakthrough. Sherman Williams, I like this area, Ray. Honestly, I like it better at 329. $344 is not bad. You just need to see, like, if you could take out today's high, let's do that. If you could take out today's high and close up there like that, now you've got something you could work with. Like you could put your stop here. This is your risk, and this is your return, right? If you look at bigger picture, the channel from the weekly here, 329, 64, 29, 64, 29, 64, 29, 64, 29, failed, 29 to 70, 64, right? Like your channel's down here off the weekly. And so this looks like you're coming back to the channel. And so I think the better thing to do in my humble opinion is put an alert down here at 330. And if it tags it, if it tags that 330, that's where you're looking for your bounce. Those are my thoughts. All right. Potential trades. We got a bunch of them. If you're watching on YouTube land, we got a few of them. Let's move these up. I want to go to Idaho Reserve, DBX, Grab, Wells Fargo, and Crocs. I mean, Apple's decent. A good close there is decent. It's a little too far for me. Good close on Grab is decent. Wells Fargo, a good close would be a trigger. So we've got a lot of stuff that looks good. Question is NVIDIA, some of these other chip manufacturers going to help us? Like if these could just get a couple day bounces, that pushes the whole market higher. I think we're in great shape. So let's see how that plays out. But all of our trades look good so far. Basically managing profits in Bitcoin and Tesla. There's no way you should lose on these. UPS is fine. IBM's fine. GitLab's fine. Google looks great. Sounds fine. Shop's fine. And then, potentials on all these guys. A lot of potential trades here. I may not add more. I mean, my accounts. My accounts in the market faux show. I do like SE a lot. Let's move that up. I really like that uptrend here. Can you get in Google? You could. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this chart at all. This looks really nice. from a channel. This is just a bigger risk. It's 3.7 to make 6. So it's still a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. The only difference is we had our initial entry here at 2 to make 8, right? So it's a 1 to 4. This is still great. So I like it. All right, team. I hope that helps. I love you guys. You'll have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being on. If you're on YouTube, we appreciate you being on here as well. If you got any questions, email us trading@neocdg.com. All right. Thanks so much, team. Have a